guys, it's Steph. Super exciting news. A couple of my videos I've mentioned about a new appliance that was going in this corner. It's here! Yay! I'm so happy, so excited. So this is a Harvest Right freeze dryer. So we've done lots on my dehydrator here, but this is freeze drying. Dehydrating foods can last, 6 months, a year, 2. I've heard some can go as far as 3, but that's really about it. Freeze drying is the process of freezing and then removing the water through sublimation, high heat, freeze it, and then high heat to extract all the water, and it can preserve stuff for up to 25 years. Wow. If you've done any camping or earlier last spring when the pandemic first came about, there was a lot of survival food and that kind of thing out there. Mountain House is a very common brand where you just add water. It's super light, comes in a foil pack, add boiling water, and away you go. I can do that at home now. Because those Mountain House meals, expensive. They can run you $20, $25 per meal. So, which is okay if you're doing a lot of camping and hiking and, really light is your ideal. But, yeah, I want to do my own. I love camping. My boyfriend and I, we love camping. But I hate lugging huge coolers full of ice. And my dog, I feed her raw dog food. So a pound of raw dog food every day, that really adds up to a lot of volume that I have to try and keep frozen or at least cool while out camping. So this is really going to come in handy. And if I don't ever have to eat an IMP or MRE, those military ration meals, that would be awesome. Because if you've ever had one, if you've ever eaten them for more than a day or two, they can really bung things up, if you know what I mean. They're tasty okay, and they do the job, but they can be hard on the tummy. So I thought about waiting and doing an unboxing, but they're big boxes. I've got a small area here. We couldn't get them all downstairs without totally unboxing everything, and so I brought everything down, unpacked it, and we have it all here. So of course, this is the medium freeze dryer. There's a small, medium, and large. I don't remember offhand how much the small can freeze dry, but the medium can freeze dry up to 10 pounds at a time. And the large, I think it's closer to 17 pounds at a time, 16, 17 pounds. So it could be a fair amount of food. I did go ahead and upgrade from the regular pump to the premium pump. So instead of having to change my oil every single time I do a run, I only have to change it it says 20 to 30 times. I think probably after the first couple I will do, maybe even after this bread run that we're going to load, I will try and change the oil just to get any manufacturer stuff out. Kind of like a new car. You don't generally wait till at 5,000. First one you do early, and then afterwards you're good to go. So we've got our freeze dryer. I've already washed it out with vinegar. Sprayed it down last night, washed out all the inside components. And comes with an insulation pillow to try and keep all that cold air or hot air, depending on what cycle it is. Big rubber gasket. It also comes with, I think there's 50 oxygen absorbers, which I can put into my 50 Harvest Right Mylar bags. For short term, you can put in a Ziploc, but for that long-term storage, you want something more heavy duty, not plastic, even a thick plastic, Rubbermaid container, Tupperware, that kind of stuff. Air can eventually work through the plastic. So these are Mylar. It's kind of a foil bag. So you put Mylar bag, put the food in with an oxygen absorber, and you should be able to get that good 25 years of storage out of it. It also came with an impact sealer. A little different. A lot of people might have a vacuum sealer at home. Yeah. Just throw stuff around. Yeah. So a lot of people might have a vacuum sealer at home. This is a little bit different. It doesn't vacuum out the air, but through heat here, say this was my bag, you put it in there and seal it through a heat seal for these Mylar bags. So they give you everything you need to get this started. Put that out of the way. They also give you oil to get started. So I've got enough for at least 2 oil changes here. Some premium oil for the pump. They also give you 4 trays for the small and medium freeze dryers, and with the large you get 5 trays. So I also ordered ahead of time a bunch of silicone mats, so I can do little small ones, and 1.5 of these mats will fill up a tray, or 2 of these squares. These will be good for cereal bars, soups, that kind of thing, kind of pre-portioned. So this is one of the trays. Special trays that they come in. I also picked up a bunch of silicone cupcake holders that this way I can fit 24 little cupcake holder size portions of whatever I feel like. I had a friend of mine with a 3D printer make up these little tray stackers so that I can stack my trays without one tray touching the food on the next tray. And then I also picked up, with my dehydrator, I've already been using these barbecue Teflon sheets. Teflon has a bad rap. Yes, Teflon can be toxic. That's the coating that's on pans and stuff. It's slightly different than the Teflon sheets. So these ones are, since the day of Teflon getting the bad rap, these Teflon barbecue sheets have been, re-FDA approved and whatnot. So I was going to cut them out so that they fit perfectly in my tray. But then I decided, I've seen sometimes where milk or eggs or something liquidy doesn't quite freeze and you can get a little bit of explosion, or some candy really puffs up. and then it gets to the tray above you and above it, and it can make a real mess. So I decided to, for now, I'll leave them long. That way I can put down my product and then just a light cover. That way, if something does have a bit of an explosion, I'm able to still remove my tray and a little bit more simpler of a cleanup. So, after we have cleaned out with vinegar, you know, again, anytime you get something new, you want to wash it out, especially if you're going to be using food in it. Now we're going to do what's called a bread run. And that's just exactly what it is. A bunch of bread on every tray, just to, again, absorb more of those manufacturing smells and anything else, the off-gassing from new product that we get. All right, so it looks like it did use almost a whole loaf of bread to do that. Put it on each tray. Push it in there. And then you put your pillow in. Your pillow is meant to be slightly bigger than the hole. And then we put our ring gasket on. All right, and this way we've got no air leakage around the edge. And we close this up. Now I need to fill up my pump. I use this one. It's got a smaller... Maybe not. I don't have scissors. Maybe not. I need scissors to cut that one. So we'll go to the other one. From what I'm told, these are both the exact same type of oil, just Harvest Right got some with their own label on it. But I hear through the grapevine that it is the same brand of oil. So there's a minimum fill line and a maximum fill line here. There we go. A little bit more. So what I'm seeing here, there's a little bit delay from when you pour it in to when it registers on the little slide. So don't just go dumping in. When you're getting close, slow it down. All right, so we're just under the max fill line. And I'd say there is just to that second line of oil left, just by the feel of things here. There we go. Of course, when someone's watching, it doesn't want to go in the first time. Just hand tight that. So we have our hose hooked up to our pump. The power cord is hooked up to the back of the freeze dryer. The freeze dryer power cord is plugged in, and I got one of these Top Greener Wi-Fi plugs. So it's Wi-Fi. I can use my Alexa, you can use Google Home or whatever to put it on and off. Same with your smartphone, but also in the smartphone app, you can go in and see how much power you've used. So I can track how many kilowatt hours, and then later multiply that by the price of kilowatt hours in my area and figure out the approximate cost for a run, which will be interesting to see. Okay, the next part I'm going to have to get out the book to follow because I haven't. This is my first load. So, I also made sure that back here, way back there, there is also a water drainage hose. Make sure that that is closed so that the little toggle is pushing away from the screen or away from the pipe, perpendicular. That way we make sure it's closed so that we don't get a vacuum error. All right, so we prepare our material on the trays, we put it in, and we press start. Now this might get a little loud. Frozen and not. Well, it's just bread, so we've got the option of pre-frozen or not pre-frozen. It's not pre-frozen, so first it's going to freeze everything. It's asking to load the freeze dryer, load food into the freeze dryer, and close drain valve. So I already have my food in. I already have the drain valve closed. And now we're on our way. So I will check back with you when this is done. And hopefully, if everything smells good and is good to go, we can put in our first load. Okay, hi, we're back. It's the next morning. Could have finished this last night, but it was going to be late, so I added more time. So I've already finished the bread run. So you can see I got my bread here, and it just powders at the slightest bit of pressure. It's totally dry, but we're only do the bread run. We're just trying to absorb all the smells from the brand new machine. So once it was dry, I put in all these candies that I have here. So we're gonna stop it. Okay, it says process complete. We gotta open the vent. So So that's letting any water drain, any moisture that still drains. I have the hose going down into a glass jar here. And now, so the pump has stopped. It's quite warm. It's been going for 18 hours. So now I'm gonna open it up and check on the candy. But a tiny, tiny bit of frost around the edge. That's normal. I think most of it has done something. So I'm gonna set this to just go no defrost. Just turn it off. That way we don't have the noise in the background. I will put a fan on it once we're done here. But let's pull it out. Trays are slightly warm. So I use my Teflon sheets because I've heard candy can puff up a lot. Okay, so I've heard with gummies, there's a lot of variation of what can happen. So we tried spearmint leaves and Swedish berries. It does not look like anything happened to them. Darn. Oh well, we'll see what the next one does. So, Swedish berries and spearmint leaves fail. These ones are cool. So I think these ones back here got a little bit sticking to the edge. These gummy soft drinks. So I'll pull out before and after. So it's looking like you can see the difference in these gummies. The Swedish berry before and the soda soft drink. Looks like you need kind of the more clear gummy ones for it to work. And let's just give this a try. It's fluffy, slight crunch, but then it instantly goes back to chewy. That is really interesting. The next ones on the tray here are these strawberry marshmallows. So before and after, you can see they puffed up. Before, nice and squishy. After, nope, hard. Very much like a dehydrated marshmallow. Kind of like that marshmallow you get in a cereal box, Lucky Charm marshmallows. Still yummy. So these are a win, and these are a win so far. And we've all seen Coke bottles, right? So before and after, again, it's more that translucent type gummy. Yep. Fluffy, airy, and then back into chewy. Yep, definitely a win. getting stuck in my teeth. And then I found these Gourmet fruit gummies I've never seen before. So let's again, the translucent type gummy, and seem to work. So I don't think they it didn't go all the way through. There's still some gummy on the inside. But they're really thick. So maybe next time I'd cut them in half. But everything on this tray was a win. So the next tray, whoa, I did these Carrie toffees. And I was pretty sure that these were wet. So I cut them into quarters, except it looks like they all kind of rolled together. So, and I put this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only put 5 caramels. Where's my bag? I only put 5 caramels on this tray. So this is before, the size of one before, the size of one after. Look at the difference. So like we've all seen a caramel. Let's try this out. Wow. It just disintegrates in your mouth. That is wonderful. These are definitely a huge win. Would be great for if somebody has braces or other mouth issues that they can't use or can't eat something like caramels, but they still want that flavor. You don't get that nice sticky chew, but it just dissolves. That's such an interesting feeling, but so good. And last but not least, what did I put on here? So this one I did our Werther's caramels. I've heard they work out great too. Isn't that a cute little ball? So the Werther's has a bit more substance and stays together than the Carries. You see. Carries are so much fluffier. Werther's is kind of like the inside of a molten milk ball. Still falls apart and just dissolves, but just a little bit more substance there. So in these cute things, I love strip waffles. This thin waffle, 2 waffle cookies with the layer of caramel inside. Put them on a cup of coffee or tea for about 2 minutes on your top of your mug and just let them warm. Oh, they're so ooey gooey and just amazing. My boyfriend, who doesn't like sweets, he actually really loves these as well. And so I cut them into 6. So 1, 2. And they're cute little waffle puffed up sandwiches. definite win. It's going to be hard not to eat the whole tray. But so good. Wow. So when we're doing normal runs in the freeze dryer, I've researched and been told that so you can do your items that need to be frozen and go through the whole freeze sublimation process. Your regular foods, your fruits, your veggies, your meats, your dairies, all that kind of thing. And then at the end, most candy does not need to freeze. It doesn't freeze well. Freezing will do nothing to help it in this process. So once you pull your regular load out, you can throw in, like I did here, candy on trays and just put it in for a couple more hours. Some say 2 to 4 hours, some say about 10 hours. Really play it by ear depending on when you're going to bed or when you can next change over your loads. But wow, am I ever glad that we can throw candy in like this by just adding a little bit of extra time. This is so next level. So we have all this here. The next thing that I'm going to need to do before I put in my next load, once I figure out what it is, I think I might start doing some of my dog's food because I need to empty my freezer to make space. But as we can see, I don't know if you can see it very well, there's a layer of ice on the inside. So I have to wait till that's totally gone. And then be ready to load in our next load. Then if you had the regular pump, the standard pump that comes with it, I would have to drain the oil and then either wait for the oil to go through a filtering system. Eventually we'll show that. I don't need to filter mine yet. Mine can go about 20 loads before the first oil filter. But I will do a little video on making a filter, an oil filter, out of an old Brita container. This was one somebody had in their basement for about 5 years and hadn't used. So it's got some scrapes and cuts and, dings and whatever, but I don't care. I'm not putting water in it. I'm not drinking it. And a roll of toilet paper. Now, Harvest Right does send you this oil filter contraption, but from everything I've read online, it's a little cumbersome, not the greatest, and the plain old roll of toilet paper and a Brita filter to house it works much better and faster. So we're going to do the Brita way. Yeah. So that's it for today. I got to clean all this up and start defrosting my machine and get my trays loaded up for my next load. But yay, if there's anything you want to see me try, experiment, something I want to see if it would work in the freeze dryer, go crazy. Well, we can always try some experiments. That'd be fun. Doesn't have to be food. We'll see. Within reason. I don't want to break my machine. But, yeah, if you want to see something, see me try something in the freeze dryer or the dehydrator, I will maybe do some comparisons. And, yeah, lots more fun to be had with my two awesome machines for food preparation. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow Facebook, Instagram, and right here on YouTube. because why not?